Is it muted now? Shit, shoot. Hold on. All right. Hopefully that's back. Yeah, I had 30 hours of PTO. Sorry, 30 days of PTO saved up one time, and I was excited. I was like, man, I'm gonna go take an awesome trip. And I was married. I am married. Was married at the time. I was trying to like figure out some great vacation me and my wife could go do. And then I had a guy. I worked or a customer. I worked in a casino, and one of the customers assaulted me, and I opted to defend myself rather than just get hit. So they suspended me for an investigation, and they chose to take 30 days to investigate. They didn't call me back till all my PTO was gone. And I was so frustrated because it's like, yes, I wasn't working, but the whole time I'm on pins and needles waiting to see if I lost my job or not. And at that time, I was so worried I lost my job. Like, I started working a second job with a buddy. So that was not my choice. The choice way to lose all my PTO is really frustrating. And then starting over from scratch to re earn PTO. Oh, thank you, man, for the follow. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. Eventually, I'll figure out, or once I have, once I get the option, I'll probably figure out how to do like the cool like follow stuff. I stream on my phone right now, so I don't always catch it when it pops up. So appreciate the follow. Thank you very much. You're my 70-second follower. I was a little worried because when I got to 69, I don't know if it's a coincidence, but the two people, like, so I got one person that followed me, and they were like a little bit of a creeper, some gal, and then she bailed, so I was back down to 68. Then another one followed, and I was back to 69, and that one also turned out to be a little interesting of a person. And then they unfollowed because I wasn't really engaging with the topics they wanted me to engage with fully. So they bailed. And I was like, man, is this going to be like the curse of like 69? Like people just, everyone that drops in is going to be weird at 69 and then unfollow. But now I'm, squarely past it. I'm hoping not to go back to that. There's some special people out there with time on their hands. Wow, I hope my name didn't scare you into thinking the curse was back. No, that did not. I wasn't worried. When I saw the name, all I thought was, it's going to be a chill person. No, that doesn't worry me. When I have to politely but sternly make sure that people know I'm married as I try to press certain conversations, that's when I'm less enthusiastic. I'm a very dedicated husband and father, so some conversations are not things I jump into. What do you uh, what do you do for work? If you don't mind my asking, Daddy Whitey. That's a good quality to have. Oh, well, I have a good marriage, so it's in my best interest to keep it that way. And I'm a strong believer that you never you never trade up in marriage, or it's very rare. Like most people, like if you tank your first marriage by cheating or on being unfaithful, like I don't see a lot of times where your second marriage is better than your first. So I work in customer support for a software company. LOL, but nothing special. I disagree. Anything that's got customer support and software in it, that is a very special job. Like I cannot imagine how frustrating a day can be. I can only imagine it because like when I have to call customer support for software and they run me through the drill of like, is your computer on? Have you restarted your computer? Okay, why don't you restart your computer? And it's like I've like told people like, hey, listen, I swear to you, I promise I'm not an idiot. I promise I did all the steps. I swear if we could please just pretend we did all of those things and let's move to where we assume I have a real problem. I'd love it. If I have to restart my computer again, I'm gonna it's but I imagine that, you have to tell people the simple things first. But it is so frustrating. Especially like I was dealing with Xfinity and all I was trying to do is get them to send somebody out to figure out why my service kept dropping off. It wasn't Xfinity. I'm sorry. Let me be clear. It was AT&T. Why my service kept dropping off, and they kept doing the whole like, well, can you restart it? I was like, I swear I've done it. You're not telling me anything new. Please, let's move on. Luckily, we don't get anything that bad. Most of our support is done via email. I like solving problems, so sometimes it's enjoyable for me when it's something more complicated. But honestly, a lot of time, support is just repetitive and the same old problems. Oh, I bet. I bet. I just know there are some special people. I had a kiosk in the mall. I worked for a company that bought like scrap jewelry in the 90s or in 2000s and 2010, 2009. And I ended up being the district manager for the company, so I had a lot of kiosks. And in the morning, people would call and be like, "Hey, this isn't working on the kiosk. This isn't working on the kiosk." And I'd have to talk them through, like making sure everything was plugged in. And they would just be like, "Oh, we can't figure it out." So then I would come and it would be something simple, like it was just not plugged in. And I finally got tired of it, and I had a meeting with one of the kiosks. They always did it, and I was like, "Listen, guys, you have got to understand the TV, the computers, that all of these things, the lamp, all of these things require electricity. If you do not plug them in, they will not work. And I really don't want to keep showing up to plug stuff in. Like, please, please, please. These are where the plugs are. All of these plugs should be plugged in. This is where the plug is on the bottom. That has to be plugged in or nothing will work. Please don't call me to rush over here in the middle of the day, the middle of the night, or whatever. We just get a lot of I can't access my account or I tried resetting my password, but I'm not getting an email about it. Oh, that's always fun. The password one is hard. Like I I had to I ended up with so many passwords. I had to develop a special formula for myself to keep track of my passwords. So like I have I'm not going to go into exactly how I do it, but based off of what the company is or what it provides is how I set up the passwords. So I know, like, okay, like these kinds of passwords are formulated this way and this kind of password is formulated that way. And I can look at it and helps me remember what I did. It's the easiest thing I do for figuring out my passwords. Well, in our system, 99% of the time, they're not able to reset their passwords just because they never made one in the first place. So easy solve. We just have to send the same canned response all the time. Now, when I worked for a casino, we had like the slot machines, and you'd have to spend so much time explaining slot machines to guests, and especially when they thought they'd won so much money, or when they weren't good at math, and you'd have to like explain to them like why when they thought they won $100, they really only won 100 credit. Each credit is a penny, and that's why they only got $1 from the machine. Like stuff that simple. Not a lot of customer service. How much do you ever get people that are fishing? Like, do you get a lot of people that are um, trying to hustle passwords out of you? Does that ever happen? You ever catch that, like scammers? I imagine that happens. When I worked for the casino, they did phishing emails to test the company to see how many people would open up links and give them access to the server. And thankfully, I'm smart enough that I saw it and didn't open it up, but a lot of people did. And considering some like really high up people opened up the email, like people that had access to everything, to where like it's kind of like I forget which I think it was MGM. I forget which casino lost access to their servers, but if it hadn't been a fishing expedition, if this guy had been really like, oh, someone nefarious had sent him the email, they would have had everything in the casino. They would have had access to everyone's information. All right, I got time for one more step. I got to bounce. You never get scammers. What would be funny, and I'm not saying this is you. I'm saying it would be ironic if you're like, yeah, we never get scammers, and your boss is like, you're not on vacation. You're actually suspended for because you're the guy that's like handed out the most bad information or accounts to scammers. Like that. There's a Key and Pill sketch that I liked where it's like the dumb, gullible prison guard, and the prisoner keeps tricking him to let him out of his cell. over and over again, and he just doesn't realize that he's the idiot every time. He thinks he's doing the right thing. It's a funny sketch. It's funnier if you watch it than hearing me recount it. It'd be funny if they're like, hey, he's got so many strikes against him because he gives out everyone's information all the time, but at the same time, he scores the highest on customer service. Everybody thinks he's an awesome guy because he gives them the passwords, so they don't know how to fire you. So they just send you on vacation randomly. All right, man. Well, I got to go too. But hey, thanks for stopping by. Hope to see you again. Thanks for the follow. And have a good weekend. And the rest of you guys, thank you so much. And God bless you guys. Thank you for hanging out. Bye.